Let's bring in Santosh Rao, Head of Research at Manhattan Venture Partners. Hello, Santosh. So much reaction. What are you watching most keenly?
Yes, a lot of reactions. This was, it was a big news. It wasn't surprising. The betting markets, if you follow that, they had already predicted that Trump had a 25% chance of winning, to the extent that you believe in this betting markets. But that's besides the point. I think this is a good ruling for the economy. I think this randomness, this indiscriminate tariffs, these punitive tariffs are not acceptable. The Supreme Court has pretty much said that. So I think in that sense, there is some certainty as to where the tariffs are landing. And that was one of the big reasons why the uncertainty in the economy and the stock market also, investors didn't know where that was going to land and who's going to win and where that's going to happen. And the companies didn't know whether to raise prices, lower prices. So all that uncertainty, I think, is gone to some extent. But now Trump has, as usual, kept that uncertainty there. It's kept that hammer there. He's saying that he has options. Let's see what that is. It's definitely not what it was before. So he'll have to really come down and really negotiate and come to a better terms and more fair terms. So overall, I would say it's good for the emerging markets. It's good for U.S. market as well in terms of prices. But let's see how Trump reacts on that.
It's interesting, there's already been response from the British Chambers of Commerce, and they're saying, this could open the way for refunds. And this could, these claims for refunds could come from many different areas, from small businesses to states within the US to, global entities. Do you believe that we are going to see that next?
Yes, to some extent you will see refunds, but let's say what shape. He's not going to give dollar for dollar back. I think my guess is that maybe he'll start giving some credits, trade credits down the road and made whole other countries, because the money that was raised has already been spent on various projects from what I was told, from what I read also. So I don't think it's there, sitting there in the bank somewhere. So they will have to work it out. And it's going to be a long drawn out process. There are some loopholes. There are some gray areas that Trump can challenge, and he can impose tariffs based on national security interests and strategic interests. So there are some loopholes there that he will work on. So there will be some uncertainty. The knee-jerk reaction is positive for the rest of the world who are paying heavy tariffs when they had nothing before. So that's it'll come down, I think, marginally. A lot of them have been negotiated, renegotiated, and come to a consensus. And companies have agreed to invest in the U.S. based on the tariffs and all that. So there are a lot of tag-on effects down the road if he just takes away the tariffs. So a lot of things going on. It's too early to say that the things are all clear, but the net effect is that it's positive. They have Supreme Court on their side, and the negotiating table is going to look a lot different because all the countries having more leverage in their negotiations.
At the same time, today we've seen U.S. GDP figures for the fourth quarter. They are lower than they were hoped to be. It was expected at 3%. They've come in lower at 1.4%. Is there an implication on growth around this decision? What are your expectations?
No, I think the GDP was really a function of the government shutdowns. I think that really had an impact on the GDP growth. So I think it'll come back. I think the U.S. is growing at a good pace. I don't think because of the tariffs the GDP grew. Even if it does, it marginally it'll lower the rate, but not much. So I think the bigger thing is that the productivity is up, AI is really having a good impact, and things are improving. But the biggest thing is with this overhang gone and the companies having some visibility, they can start hiring and start planning and start spending, and that'll be good overall for the economy.
But will sorry to jump in, will it? Because the Trump administration has said all along, if we lose in this ruling, we've got a workaround. Doesn't it actually just usher us into a new period of uncertainty?
Yes, that's true to Trump form. That's what he does. He always leaves everything hanging, so people are kept guessing in every sphere, in wars, in economy, in every place. So I think he's true to form, but I think the Supreme Court has put some red lines, so he has to work within that time, within those lines. So that certainty is there. yes, he's going to fight it out all the way, come out and said, and the Treasury Secretary has said all along that we have options, we have Plan B. So let's see what that is. But it's not just straight executive orders saying that it's 20% here, 40% there. It has to be well thought out, well documented, because the Supreme Court has pretty much laid the groundwork for a more rational tariff regime.
And Santosh, Nick did touch on this just a little while ago, but what are you seeing in the market reaction to the tariff ruling?
I think the market is reacting positively. The last time I saw, it's like I said, it's going to have a good impact in terms of the pricing. It has a disinflationary impact because companies were raising prices to pass down the costs. So things like that, I think there it'll come down. Overall, I'm going to say there are some cross currents here and there, but overall, all things considered, it is going to have a positive impact on the economy overall.
Thank you so much for your views. That is Santosh Rao, Head of Research at Manhattan Venture Partners.